Hello, Tim from Fair Play now on the 22nd of March 2025. So quite a title to this video, isn't it? And yeah, I'm going to show you, or rather let someone else tell you, how your dog proves that a certain test, popular a few years ago and continues to be popular in certain circles, is useless. And at least in certain circumstances and in the way that it is often misused, shall I say. And what I'm going to do is hand you over to Roger Meacock in a minute to actually explain how your dog proves that that particular test is no good. And this is what I'm referring to is the video that I put up here from the event I attended last week, the Food Security Symposium, and how Roger Meacock did a fantastic talk, which I then put online onto this platform. It was banned for a couple of days, then I got it reinstated, so you can tell just from that it's inflammatory stuff indeed, or should I say the truth, which unfortunately in this day and age seems to be inflammatory to a lot of people. Anyway, let's hand you over to Roger right now. Just going to do a very brief clip from the full video, and he will explain just why, in only a few seconds, how your dog can prove that that particular test is no good. So over to Roger.
So an analogy of this is if I was to take a swab from my sofa and look for my dog, there might only be a hair there, but they're telling you when you get back a positive, not only is the hair there, but the dog is too. That is the system where we've got to now with what's happening with PCR.
Quite something, isn't it, really? And you couldn't put it more succinctly, could you? And you might ask, why am I still banging on about that particular test? Why should we still be concerned about it? Because after all, the powers that shouldn't be really aren't going on about lurgies at the moment. But the reason why we still need to be worried about that test is that it's also used as far as things like avian flu is concerned, and or misused, shall I say. And what's happened in the past is that these people from government agencies have gone onto farms, used that test to really prove, or so-called prove, that the farm has some outbreak of something, and then used it as an excuse to close the farm down or to cull a lot of their animals and livestock. And yeah, you know, if the powers that shouldn't be want to cause food scarcity, and remember that this thing I was at last week was all about food security, well, what they can do is use that particular test and as an excuse to cull sort of millions and millions of chickens, you know, let's say if it's avian flu, and all of a sudden, if they've culled, I don't know, 100 million or 1 billion chickens up and down the country, all of a sudden we've got a shortage of both chicken and eggs. And well, that's then going to contribute to a scarcity in food, and it's going to affect our food security. So what I'd like to do, and what I'd encourage everybody to do, at least if you enjoy eating, that is to call this stuff out. And what I'd encourage any farmer or anyone who knows any farmers to do is, if you're faced with these government officials coming onto your property, just get them to prove that the tests they are using are actually valid tests. And if you look at these talks that I videoed last week, you can sort of see that there's ways and means of doing that. And Roger in his talk, I think, goes on about it, how you can really use the fact that this isn't a reliable test to argue your case, and therefore not have loads and loads of livestock culled for no good reason whatsoever. So that's why we still need to be concerned about this test, and why I think it's so important that we, as I say, call this kind of thing out to stop it in its tracks before it becomes a problem. And that's why I found it so important to do what I've been doing, going down and videoing that event, doing all the the sort of talks, videoing all the talks, and getting the word out there. So again, I'm going to leave a link to Roger's video in the description box below. Now that you've had a very quick taste of what he was saying, I would recommend watching the whole video. So that's there for you there. You can go and watch it after this. And yeah, he put together a really good talk. So I've done all but one of the speakers now. Everything else is up online, either on this platform or on my Rumble channel. And the last speaker is a guy called John Cook, who runs a dairy farm. And he actually produces yet another thing that the powers that shouldn't be would have you believe is pretty much the devil's food, but as it transpires, isn't. In fact, it is reported to have a lot of benefits, but again, John will describe that, talk about that in ways much better than I can. So what I will be doing is hopefully editing that video and getting it up online tomorrow, and then sort of from the start of the week onwards it will be there available for you to watch, and then that will be all of the videos completed from the event last weekend. Yeah, just to whet your appetite a little bit on John's talk. So anyway, I've whittled on long enough here. This is just going to be a brief video to give you a taster of these videos, especially Roger's one. So the link to that one will be in the description box below. Like I say, do go and watch it, do check it out. A lot of valuable content there, and also spread it far and wide as well. So until next time, Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.